Hey guys, so for today, sorry it's been a while. I'm not too active on YouTube. I don't make that many videos. I'm not like a YouTuber, you know, person, but YouTube video content creator. But once in a while I make something, and I kind of make it based on kind of what I hear from the community. Like I hang out on the Godo Discord a lot, and a lot of people, I've seen a number of people actually say that they struggle with art, and I actually like my background is art. Like I actually do 2D art, but even like even for me it was actually difficult to get into like to get into 2D 2D art for video games because it's like it's such a much more technical. See, it's like see I can make stuff like this, but then when you go into like create drawings for video games like textures like 2D pixel art. I'm going to talk about pixel art actually more because it's something that I'm kind of decide what you want to make. And I have some notes here like that I'm going to talk about. So I'll show you like kind of like a simple process, right? I'll show you a simple a simple process that you can follow along, right? And I kind of have it saved here. So there's a lot of tutorials out there, and I don't want to make another tutorial, pixel art tutorial. I sort of want to make something that kind of like helps you, like especially if you're like complete absolute beginner, right? Like you're a programmer in your or your first time doing pixel art, right? Like how do you get started? Like what do you do, right? And this is kind of like a cheaty way, but it's actually like it speeds you up, right? So I don't know. There's a lot of tutorials out here, and a lot of these are good, but I feel like a lot of these people have already like see like their art style is pretty mature and developed, and they've been doing this for a while, right? Like they've been doing this kind of stuff for a while. So then they will tell you certain things, but a lot of those things they sort of like it's just how they figured out that works for them. Like it's not necessarily it might work for a certain art style like this art style, but might not work for what you want to make, right? Like this everybody has their own kind of way of doing things, right? Like this one, you know and you don't necessarily have to follow any specific art style, right? You have to kind of like you just have to you have to make what you can make, but at the same time you also want to make something that you want to make, right? Like that fits in within your game look, like it's top down, it's a JRPG type game, or is a anime, you want to make it more like anime looking or whatever, right? There are ways to do that, right? And I think that's my first point, right? And for people who struggle with art and like they're absolute beginners, or like their first time doing pixel art, let's say, or first time doing a 2D medium, right? What you have to realize is that art is not much different from programming, or like anything requires like time to learn, right? So it's a process of mastery, like getting better at something, right? um and I would say that art is, like I said, pixel art here because I want to talk more about pixel art, but I would say the art is like art is what you see is like 2D works is really like the result of all these techniques, right? That are like problem solving techniques, I guess. And the problem is like how do you turn something like a concept or something real into something that is more limited, like a representation of that real thing, but like how do you make a 2D tree, right? Like with just a pencil, right? Like obviously a real tree has so much depth to it, three-dimensionality and textures, and is made out of different materials. But how do you make that just with a pencil and paper, right? And there's a way to do that. Someone actually over thousands of years, people have figured out ways to do that is really effective, right? If you want to make more realistic, or want to make it more like abstract representation, or you can be like the emotion, or like there's so many different ways, right? And I think that's the main point, that you have to realize that a lot of these things are just techniques, right? Like they're like what I said, the problem solving, right? So a lot of these things have actually been solved. A lot, like more a lot of art, there's a lot of artwork out there, right, that you can reference from. You don't need to reinvent the wheel. You don't need to sit down and like think about, oh, okay, I want to make something completely original with no reference. You don't need to do that. You just can be like, okay, you know, if I want to make a character, right, like in let's say a 32 by 32, right, character, right, how do I do that? And you just look it up. You just look up some sort of a game that has that kind of specification or close to your specification. You know, like JRPGs have that, right? Like little tiny little characters. So like, okay, you know, so maybe that doesn't work for you. Maybe something else works for you, right? You know, maybe there's so many different video games or so many different styles, aesthetics, right? And I think, you know, and I think that's the main point that you have to realize, is that art is really like problem solving, right? It's turning something real or concept or emotion or feeling, you know, into something, into a more limited medium, right? Like a 2D surface, right? In our case, right, it's a 2D surface. But it's the same process applies for music, for example. So it's a little bit of a learning process, trial and error, and a language. You form a language, right? You form a, like, oh, something makes sense, something works, and something doesn't, right? Like, how do you do shading or light, or how do you do coloring? You know, what kind of colors work? You know, what is depth, and how do you create the feeling of depth, or like a warm summer day, or a cold you know, December, or, you know, all these things exist. They're out there, right? There are in various games, right? And I have some things open here actually. uh yeah, so I was looking at Wolfenstein, but maybe I'm thinking, like, you know, maybe something on Monkey Island would work really well, right? Monkey Island, like this one. Yeah, it's interesting. So this is Secret of Monkey Island, right? Yeah. So here we go. This is somewhat more simple. What's this? Oh yeah, I was looking at the. See, so this is like, okay, how do I make my character in, you know, the so dimension? So this is like a 2D. You see, like, it's a 2D, and then there's a little bit of animation there. This is the main character, and it has all these motions. And he swims, he drowns, he falls, he fights. There's just a head. There's so many things that you can pull from, right? And this is like the more realistic version, you know. So that's one way of doing it. Like, let's say I'm gonna make an adventure game, and I want to make it in the vein of this kind of game, right? Okay, this game already exists, right? I can pull ideas from. You don't have to copy it, right? Okay, I'll show you. Like, for example, let's say I want to make a guy that I want to make something like a walking cycle, right? From front. See, he has walking cycle from front, from side, from back, and this side is duplicated, so and mirrored for the opposite side, I believe, right? So, you know, let's see. Yeah. So what are you gonna do is, like, you're gonna kind of decide. First thing you want to do is, and let me like go back here. First thing you would, this is what I would do, right? I wouldn't start with like just a blank canvas and like, okay, like, you know, just like start doing something, you know, like, you know, no, I would decide first. I would decide what do I want to make, and I would base it on something that is already there, exists, something that already exists, right? So, like, you know, I decided that I want to make something like Secret of Monkey Island, right? Look, an adventure game. Okay. You have a reference, right? So you go to these art sites, and I have this one open here, right? And you're like, okay, I'm gonna, like, you know, look up for Secret of Monkey Island, which I did, right? You can also go to this one, and I sometimes use this as well. So this is Secret of Monkey Island. And this is useful because it's screenshots, right? So this is, you can see the entire game in action. Like, you can see the interface and like how people use it, and you know, this is very handy for that, right? So this is like how it looks like. So for example, my character that I want to create, let's see if I find, okay, there's my character right here. So you can see like kind of how he fits in. Yeah, so, and they're actually the size is like accurate size. So sometimes I actually pull from these because there's actually usefulness. But see, the way they use the coloring, they kind of fits with the background. and all other characters in the menu, everything is sort of like uniform, right? You know, whereas here is like extracted, and it's hard to tell if this has been color corrected at all, right? Like I think they might have changed the color where this one has more accurate coloring, right? Anyway, so then that's the second thing I would do is like pick a reference for the game, the type of game you chose. It doesn't have to be one game. It could be 15 different games. You know, it can be like 12 different Adventure Sierra, all these different games, right? And then you want to have a software that you know really well, right? So I have all these options for software for pixel art specifically, right? But if you're doing other type of art, then you want to use Photoshop. I don't know. You want to use Krita is good for. So like Asprite is the one I use. Okay, Asprite is the one I use, but I guess this one is kind of weird, but it's cool actually. It's actually cool. It's a little bit different, right? It's hard to get into, but it's somewhat like Asprite, and it's pretty advanced actually, and it's been like developed. It's developed under like the radar, like nobody really knows about it, but it's a little bit of a gem, right? Like nobody really knows about it. And I'm surprised that it was included here, like GraphX from 2019. Yeah, it's weird. Um, this one is great. This one is amazing. This program is like one of the better pixel art programs. Promotion and G. This one is great too. Both of these are great, but this one is incredible. It can do actually both of these can do 8-bit cycling, which is like a technique that was used in the 90s. It's not even possible to do it because the 8-bit graphics no longer exist. But both of these programs can actually do 8-bit cycling, which is pretty impressive. You know, this one cannot do 8-bit cycling, and I don't think and Godot doesn't do 8-bit cycling either. They intentionally they decided not to do it, but it's crazy that this software can actually. I don't know if this one does cycling. It might be able to. This one, all of these don't, but and then you have Krita, which is everyone knows. It's kind of like a Photoshop alternative. It's pretty cool. It's a pretty good one. It has the advantage of doing pixel art on this one is that it has animation, a timeline. You can do layers, timelines, and Onion. I think it has Onion. It has a few like animation specific tools, but it also has a pixel art, a pen, like a pixel pen, right? And that's what you really need. GIMP, you can do that in GIMP. Paint.net, not really, but I'm included here. I would say that GIMP is above Paint.net, like that. I would put it in this order for me personally. Although this one is probably the most advanced. Anyway, so you pick a software that you're comfortable with. This is paid. Oops, this is paid. All right, this is paid, not paid. So this is paid. This is just $20. This one, I think. I don't know how much it costs. This one is more expensive, like probably 50 or something like that. I think this one is paid as well, but honestly, like I would learn this one. Like if you have no software, I would try to learn this one because it looks pretty crazy advanced. I don't know if it can do animation though. Or this one. This is more normal. I would learn this one or this one. If you don't want to spend any money. I spend money, then I get this one. Anyways, and then step 3 would be, so you decide the art you want to make. Oh, hold on, not step 4. It'll be step 4 here. So you decide the art you want to make. You start with some references. Let's put some references of your art style, of your art type, okay? And I put these 2 places. I would say that these 2 places are the best for pixel art because you get the sprites, so you can make animations and screenshots within their original size, right? It's not modified. This place has a screenshot in the original game size. So this one was 320 by 240, and if you go here, it's 320 by 240. That's the actual size, and it's PNGs. Usually they're PNGs. Yeah. So that means that there's no JPEG artifacts. You get the actual original coloring. Perfect. It's perfect quality. That's why I like the Moby games. Like these guys, they love to make like the original screenshot, you know. Anyway, so then yeah, so you go pick up then you figure out a software, you pick a software you want to use and know it really well, get really familiar with it, right? And then you just start copying someone else's work. Like just copy. You don't have to actually copy everything. You just base it on it, right? And I'll show you. Like, look, I'll show you right now actually. So let's say I want to do this walking cycle, right? I have the walking cycle here. Obviously I won't have it here, right? So I would do, let's just switch to drawing mode. So this is something that I made, for example. This is something that I made. Like I made this is like for Minecraft. I was making a mod and I made all this stuff from scratch. And then this is like some background I created. I don't know if I like this one actually. Like this is like a menu, but it's kind of based on some games. I don't know. And I would have had, this is just a background and then any kind of loops, right? And this will be separate. Anyways, let's do this and let's put this one here. So obviously it's the size has been modified, right? And maybe the coloring as well, right? So let's do this. Let's copy this. Okay, let's do 1024.1. Let's make it really big. I don't know, whatever, it doesn't matter. Okay. And then let's see. Okay. This is how I would start to learn, right? So you do something like that. You know, just do this. Let's see. Boom. Oh, no. That's just because I cannot see it because of the background. The color doesn't matter right now. I'm just block out the shapes, right? Just kind of block out the shapes, create a character, right? It doesn't have to be that character. I'm gonna copy that character for now. Okay. See, it has that funny style. Okay. So let's say I want to do like a face. See, it's like this. So now it's like, okay, how do I make a face? Oh, that's how you make the face, right? So it's like, oh, wait a second. Now I know how to make the face. Right? They use two lines and two lines. And I know they use one line and then two spaces here, right? So this is the problem solving. See? This is the problem solving right here. So this is done like, you know, see? Boom. You see that? So someone actually solved this. Like they don't, how do you make a face in pixel art? There you go. That's one way of doing it. Right? So I don't have to like be like, oh, how do I do this? Okay. Boom. 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 So I'm just gonna use that. And then they say use black for that. See? It looks pretty realistic. So then what if I want to make, you know, what if I want to add different type of hair or something like that, you know? So they do more hair. So I guess people have more hair at the top like that. You see? So obviously my character is very small comparing to the size of the head. So for that type of style, so let me distort this. There you go. Boom, boom, boom. How did they combine the neck with the, see? How did they combine the neck with, so they actually have a little chin there. I see, so they actually use a little chin. And then here as well, boom, boom, boom. See, and it started looking cool. So how do you do this? You don't, it doesn't have to be identical. What if I want to change my shirt to a different color, right? I'm like, okay, man, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna make my guy kind of blonde. Let me see, blonde. That's not blonde. What the heck? Okay, like super blonde. Okay, there you go. All right, and then what if I want to add him, give him a white beard or something like that? See, boom, boom, boom. So now I know how to do this, and then maybe the lips I want to make them red or something, or black or something like that. You know, boom, 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 boom. So a lot of maybe you cannot have blonde hair and white beard, right? So maybe I'll make all the stuff. So I'm gonna make like an old man. Maybe I'm gonna make like kind of like a homeless guy or like some sort of a wretch, you know, like he's like, oh, alms for the poor, you know. Please, sir, do you have a coin? You see, so I want to make him a little bit more tattered. And there you go. And then, or maybe you know what he is? He's a shipwreck survivor, man. That's what he is. So he's like a little bit in tatters, and then I'll make, see. So a lot of this stuff is like it makes sense to me, right? Like it makes sense to you. It would be more like this, right? There you go. So how did I do that? I just pretty much copied this guy, but you know I made him smaller a little bit than theirs. So now what if I want to make him walk? Well, I already have it. Look, it's right here. So you just go boom, boom, you know. Let's just say I want to do only 4 frames, right? So what does he do? Like is the same legs. Okay, so it's like this, and then this one goes forward. This is the same level, goes forward, and then again the same level, and then this one goes forward. Something like that. You see, and then if this arm goes forward, this leg goes forward, so this would be back here. Okay. Okay, something like this. So you know, because humans walk like, you know, front, it like if this, no, left, right, right? If left hand is forward, then right foot is, you know, something like that. So then this one goes forward, this one goes backwards. Oh wait, no, this one would be forward now. You know, and then you can see it right here, look, forward. You see, except that they added more, right? They added more frames. So this is forward. Then there's another switch frame. This is the other foot forward, and then the other foot forward, the other foot forward, foot forward. Oh, I'm guessing these are the animation walk, right? No, let's create this guy. Let's make this guy a little bit more tattered, but more. I don't know why it looks like that. I think there's a problem here, and I think I know what the problem is because it's pissing me off. I think it's unindexed and it should be RGB. It's bothering me here. See, it's like the color is always like weird. There you go. No. Let's do it. No. There you go. Perfect. But I would say that if he was in tatters, then this should be showing his skin here. He looks more like you know. So now if you have an animation software, you can easily animate this one. And also maybe you want to have like the neck here is gonna be like, okay, let's see. Okay, so let's try to animate this now. Let's go new layer, new layer, and new layer, I think. Oh, no, sorry, no, I need to do new frame, and new frame. So can I play this? Yeah. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna copy this one. Let's move it here. So wait, forward, same level, forward, same level, forward, same level, Oh, no, no. And backwards, like this. So let's see. Yeah, so it doesn't seem like he's walking, right? So, okay, so this is where you can go to like this. Boom, bam, boom, bam. Okay, let's try that. Yeah, I have to cut all those out. Okay, let's cut all these out. Okay, so now what I want to do is like I want to slow this down. So there's the frame properties. Let's do 400 milliseconds. Ah, I have to do all of them. See, that's one of the problems with this program is that you have to manually like do this. I don't think you can, unless when I duplicated the frames, when I I should have set the timing. Okay, there you go. So now, see, and it kind of looks like a guy walking. And how long did that take me? It literally took me like 2 minutes. You know, now I have a sprite character, right? So you know, all you have to do is block the large areas, right? So now what if I want to create like little detail, like see how he has like I can make him like more like dirty or something, right? Obviously that this is going to disappear when I go here, so you just have to remember, like, you know, like you did it here and here, see, and then you did it here and yeah. And a lot of the a lot of work is like that's I think that's what the oldest tutorials will tell you, is that it's work. Like if you want to do a good job, you have to spend a long time working. I see. Okay, so I did that. So now it looks like this part here is like dirty, or like, you know, he was like, or bloody or something like that. And this one, see this? There's a little pixel here and it's gone. Boom. And then another thing you can do is like you can make this a little bit darker and add like a little belt or something. I don't know, something like that. You can give him a little belt, maybe here, or maybe no belt. Anyways, so if you look at my art now, it does remind you of this or this, right? There's a sort of similarity in there. Maybe I was wrong about that actually. Oh, you know, let me see, copy. Oh, maybe I'm wrong actually. It's not original resolution. Huh. It does remind you of this, see? It's similar art style. You know, it's slightly smaller, I guess. So I could have made it a little bit bigger. Like that or something like that. And there you go. I can make it a little bit bigger. Like that. See? It looks like a similar art style. So now you know, what you're doing is you're using this game to solve your problems, right? Like you have a problem. I want to make this character, right? I'm gonna instead of actually reinventing the wheel, I'm actually gonna use this game to solve my problems for me, right? Like these artists, like it's about respect, right? In a sense, right? Like you gotta say, oh man, I really like this guy's art, right? I want to use this kind of art in my game. You know, you don't need to reinvent the wheel. And I feel like a lot of things, a lot, like, see, this kind of looks similar, but I would add maybe different color or something, like maybe this gray, or maybe like just make it black or something, or maybe this one here, maybe here. There you go. They use a lot of blues. Anyways, that's kind of what I wanted to talk about. Here's the other program. Like this kind of theory can be applied for any art. It doesn't have to be pixel art. I only did a pixel art because I only did pixel art because I know pixel art is something that I can do really quickly to demonstrate the idea. So how did I start with? I started with someone else's work, and then I created my own work based on it, right? Why? Because I really appreciate this. I really love this art. Like look at how they can do facial expressions. They can do, what if I want to make this guy scared? Like, what if he's like, oh, right? Like I can do it like this. Oh, let's see how did they do their facial expressions, right? For example, this one is, oh no, this is, they're looking up, down, left, right. He's doing stuff. Like there's so many things you can pull from other games, right? You don't need to reinvent the wheel. Anyways, I started with this guy's work. I created something really fast, like block it out, right? And then I fixed it up. I chiseled it up a little bit, right? I can just keep chiseling up a little bit, like, maybe this hand is not good. Maybe I want to create like a little bit like more like a fist. I can keep doing that, right? Here maybe I want to do add a bit of shadow or something. Maybe here I want to complete the shirt. Maybe here, right? And then I'm unfortunately, like, changing that has changed my drawings. There you go. Boop. Yeah, I see this one looks. See, this one looks. Which one was it? This one looks so much better. There you go. See, boom, simple. And then I can add this guy in here, for example, right? So it all starts falling, working together. Everything starts working together really well, and then you put it in your game. You see with the background, maybe, hold on, maybe I want to create like a little bit more sci-fi look to this guy, so I want to create like a weird colors, like that. So he's like a futuristic, it's like a little bit of futuristic look. It's kind of like a spaceship wreck. I'll show you this program as well. Actually, I have it here. So this is the other program. It's a bit weird. So you start by, I don't even know how the hell you start. Oh yeah, you have to zoom with this one. And I think you can. You have. I think space pans. And then you have this where you can draw. You have all your colors down here. I don't know if you can choose any color easily. Like here, you have to have a palette, and I think that's what yeah, I think you can change the size though. Yeah. So it would be very similar. You cannot really copy paste images, can you? Oh yeah, you can. Oh yeah, you can. So it becomes like, okay, so what if I want to create? So I guess you could do that. Can you paint the entire thing? I've never used this program, but it has. So it's what's interesting about this program is that it has, like, say if I want to give him a blaster or something like that, right? Like, let's say I want to give him a blaster, right? So like boom, boom. Okay, and then no. How do you? Oh, with right click you erase, like a gun kind of thing in it. Yeah, how do you select this? grab. Oh yeah, so that's how you can do a brush, so you can repeat it. Okay. Okay, that's pretty cool. So what's interesting about this program is like it's different. It's more like old school, you know, but it has some really powerful functionality. It's pretty impressive actually. I don't even know how I exit this mode, this brush mode. Doesn't seem like I'm able to. Oh yeah, you just click back here. So these are the different presets. See, round, square, sieve, diamond. Like he has way more functionality. And one of the coolest things actually is he has this thing here. See, you can actually generate your palette, and look at this. Like you can sort it, flip it, negative it, gray it. Like you can order all your colors in any way you want. Very bizarre, very cool actually. You see, and then you can go between palettes. It's a very strange system actually, but you see, it's like it's kind of slow. So you can go here and then you can choose the color. But what's cool about this that is it's like you see the neighboring colors, right? So you're never gonna make mistakes choosing colors that are not really like, you know, you're gonna be like, okay, I have my reds here, so I'm always gonna use my reds. It's bizarre. You know, can I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. This is a free program, and it looks pretty cool actually. I don't know how you did that. Okay, so you can choose any color you want, and I think you can. I think you can choose any color you. Oh, maybe it doesn't work that way. Anyways, that's the other program. This is my. Yeah, sorry, I've been talking for so long. So that's kind of what I want to talk about, right? Like, you know, what you can do here is it's not art is not that complicated. It's just time consuming, right? But what the core idea is, what I want to present, what I want to talk about is that art is really about solving problems, right? Like it's about turning a 3D object, you know, 3D object like these glasses, right? Let's say I have these glasses, okay? How do I represent these glasses in a pixel art or in a 3D software or in a 3D model or in a whatever, like 2D painting or in a pen and paper, right? That has been solved. All you have to do is go out there and be like, okay, glasses drawing, right? There you go. So see, they say, okay, do outline. That has been solved. Any of these drawings exist. They're out there. They're references, right? Like this guy uses shading. This guy just uses outline, but then adds this little lines here to suggest that there's glass there. Smart, right? So this one looks more technically impressive than this one, for example, right? Okay, this one looks more cartoony. But if you're going for more like a childish or like more cartoony, then you want to do this, right? This one looks more childish as well, right? Well, look at this one. Ooh, really next level, right? So you know that exists. Like if I do glasses pixel art, how do you represent glasses pixel art? There you go. See, there's that shit, or like this actual glasses, right? So or like this, you see, or like ice cubes. So how do you represent shininess, or how do you represent whatever, you know, a tree, a building, you know, reflections in the water, waves. How do you animate waves? How do you make the little wave animations to make them realistic? That's been solved as well. There are games that use like 2D, you know, waves crashing in the shore, and they use cycling and they use various techniques, right? All you have to do, like, you know, like, oh, maybe this one actually does. I don't know. Okay, here's the thing that I want to end with, though, and here's what is really the main point here, right? That that games are technically limited, right? Obviously, like we can do so much stuff in the video games, right? But pixel art comes from a time, right? Pixel art, 2D art, a lot of these things are technically limited. Like 2D art, all you have is pen and paper. okay, represent the entire real world with just pen and paper, right? And same with this one, you only had like only 8 sprites could be displayed, you see, and that's your character right there, right? Only X amount of colors could be displayed. Only 256 tiles could exist. Only 64 colors or 64 colors can be, but only a specific amount of these, only 4 colors could be on a palette, on a character. So the characters have to have literally 4 colors. If you want to add any more 4 colors, then you have to add additional sprites, such as this sprite here and this sprite here are 3 different sprites: the character, the pants of the character, and the flag of the character, right? Oh, you don't see this actually, sorry. There you go. So this is what I was talking about. So see, like NES, this is what I was talking about. Sorry, the NES was technically limited, and I think that's the point here, right? The point is that there's a technical limitation, right? That you're trying to match to represent whatever you want to represent in a technically limited environment, okay? And all these games that exist out there that have done this. They have done this so many things: hyper realistic, photorealistic, pixel art. And this is what pixel art comes from limitations, right? Pencils and paintings and oil paintings and gouache and whatever. There's a technique, there's a way of doing things that works, and you don't have to invent that. Just go out there. Oh man, I think my video is like delayed or something. Just go out there and just like find what you want to copy. Okay, find references of things you want to copy. Okay, just lay them out in front of you. Okay, and just start copying them. You don't have to copy everything. Like, how did they do the face? How did they do the sand? How did they do the water? Right? And then you just invent everything else, and then you can do incredibly fast work. Anyways, I might cut this video because it's like 40 minutes long. It's like insanely long. But that's all I wanted to say. Anyways, I'll cut this video up a little bit, fix it up. That's it. Anything is doable. I guess that's my point, right?